body bags were horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your still saying Sunday night, your Tuesday night reviewer. And for the theme week of Evil versus Evil, I decided to bring you the Alien versus Predator movie. So this is from Paul W.S. Anderson. We all pretty much know that he's very successful within the Resident Evil world, a franchise which keeps making money whether good or not so good movies, and everything else he touches tends to not do particularly well. I will obviously take out Event Horizon from that. Absolutely love that movie. But he's got stuff like Mortal Kombat, Soldier, Three Musketeers, Pompeii. Just a list of stuff that money's pumped into it and he just doesn't really make much back, and they're not the best movies, to be honest. Now, this is one that I think fairly universally was not liked upon release. Plenty of people went to see it, of course. It's an Alien movie and Predator movie combined. People wanted this for years. And I don't think this is what people either expected or wanted. But over the years, I think it's gained a bit of a following where maybe when you see the second one that came out, where I remember the directors were saying that, oh no, we're going to fix all the issues that were in the first one and really make something that is true to the Alien vs. Predator comic. That is a terrible movie. Oh, well, that's just one that I just don't enjoy. But as I said, I don't think it's a great movie, but it is one I can watch. I can rewatch every so often. It's starting to grow a little bit. But anyway, we have a Predator ship, and it basically triggers this heat source in Antarctica. This is seen by satellite, and when scanned, there is a pyramid hiding under the ice. And a Mr. Wayland, Charles Wayland, with his company, who found this, gets basically a team together, and he wants to go and be the first to discover this pyramid under the ice. So he gets his team together, and off we go. It's a bit of an unusual team. We have archaeologists and different mountaineering people, and there's a bunch of mercenaries and stuff like that. So, which is a strange thing to take, maybe. Not when you know the context of the movie, but when you don't, it's like, well, why would you be taking all these kind of guys? It's kind of characters of the time. You had a few people, a few recognisable faces. A little bit cheesy, the characterizations, but it's kind of what it is for the time. But anyway, they finally get there, and it's this like abandoned whaling station. It's like maybe like 100 years old or something. And so they get to the site, and there's already a hole there. So someone has already drilled a hole. So they go down to this hole, and they find this pyramid, and they go inside and reading all this stuff, and things starts happening. Things start moving around. And this pyramid is like a Rubik's Cube, but it's where it's a bit different from maybe other Predator movies where they just drop down onto the planet and it's like you go and find your prey and you go and kill it. This one, it's like a contained fighting arena almost. It's like all these different areas. And so basically it's we have a queen that's been in cryogenic stasis who is woken up. She's melted and she is basically pumping out loads of eggs. And so we have different members of the team in these different chambers because they keep moving around, and it creates these different rooms. And there's one where they figure out it's a sacrificial room. And of course, there's a bunch of face hookers there that's diving on everyone. And that's how we're going to get our xenomorphs in this movie. But at the same time, at the top of the surface, we have some of the team left over, and we have the 3 predators which are going to be kicking ass in this movie. Basically, just take them out quite easily. All the people that are at the top, obviously they're armed, the ones that are at the top, so they get dispatched, and then the predators make their way down. We have a few predators. There's one that's killed fairly. I can't remember how that one actually happened. There's one that killed fairly easily. There's a couple that killed fairly easy actually. It's like the one xenomorph is kind of like kicking ass. You get this cool effect where the one gets this net shot at it that we get from Predator 2, where this kind of like metal net, it kind of starts to contract and cut into it, so it cuts into the alien's head, and that's a pretty cool effect. It's sort of pretty nice and scars him. So we know that this is a badass alien because we keep seeing him through the rest of the movie. And so you have this one alien, I think his name's Scar or something like that. I think they actually named the predators in this, but like he's dispatching some aliens and he's pretty happy with himself, so he takes off his mask, starts marking his face with a face hugger. He's like with the acid, it's like making some like battle scars. And then he gets to like an alien, face hugger dives on him and then obviously impregnates him. Silly fool taking that mask off. But yeah, we carry on. We lose more and more people, and then we get in like I said, the queen. She's laying all these eggs. We have the more and more aliens come in, and they're dispatching the team. And eventually, we get this kind of situation where we get our final girl, and she teams up with a predator to take on the last of the xenomorphs and the queen. So they kind of manage to get their way to the surface, detonate this bomb to wipe everything out. But of course, we know the queen from previous movies is pretty hard, and she's at the top as well. She makes it up somehow to the top, and there's a bit of a fight to the death, and she basically plunges, don't know how deep, into the freezing Antarctic water. She's dragged down. She gets this chain wrapped around her, and she's dragged to the bottom of the ocean. We don't know if that kills her or she manages to get her way out or anything like that. But that's as it is. And that's the end of the movie, kind of, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, you have good bits of this. It's interesting that you have this contained area, this contained, like, fighting arena that moves around. So it's like this big moving Rubik's Cube, or something from like the movie Cube, all these like different rooms being created. And so that's kind of interesting concepts. You get some pretty interesting, keep saying interesting, you get some nice rooms created in some pretty awkward situations for some of the humans teamed up with in a room with a xenomorph. The characters aren't the greatest, to be honest. They're not really well written. They're pretty generic. And the queen, of course it would be, but she's CGI'd. So that's always a bit of a downer. And yeah, I mean, it's a strange one. It's like, why is there, like, it makes the assumption, it kind of makes this connection that they've been coming for like thousands of years, and there's an early civilization in Antarctica. So, well, I don't know if it's actually in Antarctica, but an early civilization, like that they were like teamed almost, like they were trained by the predators, and they had these different pyramids created. And there's this truce, so that they were aware of the predators, and they would make sacrifices so they could create the xenomorphs and stuff like that. Which is a bit weird. It's like, well, how come that just got totally disappeared and no one ever heard about that? But, well, you have to suspend your disbelief. It's like an Alien and a Predator movie rolled into one. So I guess that's just as it is. But I imagine that most people have seen this, especially if you're a fan of the franchise, of either franchise. But this is a subpar movie for what you would want from these two. I don't know if this was a PG-13, maybe, because I think it's pretty light on the gore and the horror. Like they bring some comedic elements to it, and I don't know if it was aimed or if it's like the release company, the distribution company made a request for it to be a little softer, so it had to have a bigger audience. Maybe, I'm not sure now, but yeah, it could have been a lot heavier. Like I think the second one has more like horror-y elements and more like actiony stuff. Well, not really actiony. It doesn't have to be actiony, but I think they tried to up the game on that one and well, failed miserably. So I think that kind of pretty much killed the crossover with the Alien versus Predator. Of course, we're getting Predator movies on our own, continuing Alien movies, of course, but I don't think there's anything else in the works at the moment for any crossover with the Alien versus Predator world, which is a shame, but considering what we had before, it's kind of understandable. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.